Why could gaming turn some people into bullies with filthy mouths? And why do some people think that the happiness of gaming only comes from winning? If I had stayed up less, maybe I wouldn't have died because of cardiovascular disease. If I had gone to bed earlier yesterday, I would not have dozed off today in both class and meeting. If I played fewer video games, I would have more time to study. If I reviewed my notes more carefully, I would definitely be able to figure out this question. If I smoked less opium, maybe I wouldn't break up my family apart. If I cared more about my family, I would have a whole house of grandchildren. If there were no opium wars, if we were not so corrupt, we wouldn't have to sign the Treaty of Nanjing and Convention of Beijing. And Hong Kong would not be colonized by Great Britain and leave the motherland for more than 100 years. What the hell, Joik? You did that on purpose, didn't you? Compel staying up late and playing video games with opium? You are so sick and disgusting. Bah, unfollowed. Oh wait, please don't leave. I totally oppose the idea that games are regarded as opium. And I'm telling you that gaming is an antidote for me, not a poison. You can rest assured that this video will be very informative and positive. Well, I sincerely hope that after watching this video, you will leave your wise comments and likes. And as always, don't forget to subscribe if you like the video. Alright, in fact, many things are not as bad as expected. It seems that staying up late to complete a PowerPoint and redoubling your efforts are the must-do things on your way to success. It seems that playing video games can relieve the pressure of work and study this day and offer you more energy tomorrow. But why could some seemingly ordinary things end up making us addicted to them and poisoning us like opium? For example, why is playing basketball a game? But I am not easily addicted to playing basketball. I get easily addicted to online games. And why are we not addicted to learning and reading but are addicted to opening lucky draws and gambling? Well, the answers are simpler than anyone imagined. The real cause of addiction is the constant and instant reward, or the constant and instant positive feedback. So what is addiction? According to Professor Mark Griffiths from the International Gaming Research Unit, Psychology Division, Nottingham Trent University in the UK. He said in his academic paper, Online Video Gaming, What Should Educational Psychologists Know? All addictions, whether chemical or behavioral, are essentially about constant rewards and reinforcement. In this video, I will take you through how instant positive feedback makes you excited and satisfied from the perspective of neurology. Although many times the positive feedback brought by learning knowledge in school is not constant and instant, but in fact, there are also ways to turn learning into something that can bring you constant and instant positive feedback. I will tell you how at the end of the video. So what activities can give you constant and instant positive feedback? And how on earth do these activities make our brain feel pleased? Well, for example, the sound effect of weapons defeating enemies from shooting games, regular jokes from short videos on TikTok, and swearing at others. These activities make your brain feel pleased or excited by stimulating your hypothalamus to secrete more dopamine. Your brain then receives instant positive feedback whenever it happens. Secondly, the tension from playing the competitive game, the nervousness, sadness, and happiness in the process of opening lucky draws, the fear of retaliation after swearing at others, and the anxiety of wanting to hold hands with the girl you love. These activities also make your body secrete more adrenaline. Your heart beats faster and you breathe more quickly. You feel full of energy and super excited. Similarly, drugs make people excited and addicted because drugs also bring a lot of constant and instant positive feedback to the brain through dopamine. But it works slightly differently. From the perspective of neuroscience, morphine-like drugs may replicate endorphins in the human brain, which can directly or indirectly promote the synthesis of dopamine, subsequently improve brain excitement in a short time, and produce pleasure. However, the drugs also inhibit the normal secretion of endorphins in the human body, or even stop the secretion gradually. After the excitatory effects disappears, the body is in a state of withdrawal, and the blood lacks oxygen. It needs to supplement endorphins to restore the oxygen supply capacity of the blood. However, people themselves lack endorphins due to the inhibition of endorphin secretion by taking drugs. Therefore, they need to rely on external endorphin-like substances to maintain normal physiological activities. Once the outside world stops supplying morphine, people's physiological activities will be disordered, and the blood circulation will be in a stagnant state, resulting in various painful feelings and experiences of dying. Only by continuing to supply morphine to people's bodies can the withdrawal state be lifted, which is the so-called drug addiction. That means drugs destroy the normal dopamine rewarding system of the human brain and result in outside or external morphine dependence. Although entertainment products such as video games and short video platforms provide constant and instant positive feedback, they do not poison our nervous system. Then how do they make us addicted to them? First of all, please be aware, I may not talk about you. Don't take it personally, because there is an essential difference between being addicted to games and enjoying playing games. Also, being addicted to watching short videos and being fond of watching short videos are completely different. So if you only play games occasionally for a long time to relax and ease your mind, it does not necessarily mean you are addicted to games. Secondly, games are definitely not opium or drugs. From my point of view, unhealthy gaming habits, gaming attitudes, and gaming views are the real opium. On September 25, 2019, the World Health Organization officially identified the addiction to online games or video games that interfere with daily life as a new mental disease called video game addiction, VGA, also known as gaming disorder or internet gaming disorder, IGD. As a kind of disorder due to addictive behaviors, it was listed in the 11th revision of the International Classification of Diseases, ICD. Later, I will take you through a professional assessment questionnaire to test whether you are suffering from potentially VGA. So what it is like to be addicted to games? Let's make a simple example. If I played League of Legends 10 hours a day, my brain was highly nervous for 10 hours. Dopamine and adrenaline were secreted continuously to stimulate my nervous system. I experienced constant happiness formed by instant positive feedback from gaming. However, after 10 hours, my body, including my brain, finally felt tired and wanted to have a rest. At this time, I had little energy to study except lying on the bed. Well, this situation did not indicate that I had VGA. It just meant I played games for too much time and felt tired. When I had a good rest, I only remembered the constant and instant happiness brought to me by the game when the last time I was awake. So I looked at the textbook on the shelf and thought about the homework in my bag. I felt fetching books was too much of a trouble, so I picked up the mobile phone or tablet already in my hand and began to play the game again. Gradually, I became lazy and began to feel inferior because someone might have mastered a formula that could help him successfully pass the exam in the past 10 hours. But I spent 10 hours playing video games. I felt inadequate compared to my peers. Then the people around me in real life, my teachers, my parents, my colleagues, and my boss, it seemed that most of the time they didn't care how good I was at playing games. They cared only about my academic performance, my KPI, whether I could start a family, whether I could find a job and support myself, and when I could find a wife and get married. They started to compare me with others. So I began to feel inferior, and I realized the gap between me and the people around me was getting larger and larger, with me spending more time playing rather than studying. But I could not control myself to stop playing because it seemed that I could only feel superior over others when playing video games. And when I started to feel inferior, this indicated that I indeed had VGA. If the world is too dangerous, only the game is the safest. Take me into the dream and make my dreams come true. Well, let me tell you a secret. This is not an example. This is me in October 2018. I resigned from my last job and lay at home for the whole month. I played video games every day and felt inferior every day. I felt that I had forgotten all the knowledge I had learned in junior high school, and university. I felt felt that I was a complete loser, and the only thing I did well was playing video games, and the only thing I wanted to do is playing video games. Until I summoned up the courage and took the first step. I didn't know how to write a good PowerPoint, so I turned on the computer and learned how to do it slowly. I thought that I was still young, even though it would take me a year to catch up with others, or I would need 2 years. I would still learn it at my own pace, because I knew that at least after 2 years, I would reach a normal level of making a good PowerPoint. So I started to learn step by step. Although every step was staggering, at least I was making some progress. I know, no one likes to hear this kind of story, right? Neither do I. I would say that it is my right to play video games. Don't force me to study. Don't force me to start a family or business. Just don't force me to do anything. But one day, my friend, the people who support and raise you will eventually live or die. No one can support you for a lifetime. Working and living are certainly more difficult than simply picking up a mobile phone and playing games. If you are not wealthy enough, you still have to force yourself to learn more skills. Although we may still work for others in the future after learning the skills, at least we can make a living by ourselves. As mentioned before, on September 25th, 2019, the World Health Organization officially identified the addiction to online games or video games that interfere with daily life as a new mental illness. So how do you know whether you have a video game addiction disease or not? You can answer the following 9 questions listed by American Psychiatric Association. The APA has developed 9 criteria for characterizing the proposed internet gaming disorder. The first one, preoccupation. Do you spend a lot of time thinking about games even when you are not playing, or planning when you can play next? Second, withdrawal. Do you feel restless, irritable, moody, angry, anxious, or sad when attempting to cut down or stop gaming, or when you are unable to play? Third, tolerance. Do you feel the need to play for increasing amounts of time, play more exciting games, or use more powerful equipment to get the same amount of excitement you used to get? Fourth, reduce or stop. Do you feel that you should play less, but are unable to cut back on the amount of time you spend playing games? Fifth, give up other activities. Do you lose interest in or reduce participation in other recreational activities due to gaming? Sixth, continue despite problems. Do you continue to play games even though you are aware of negative consequences, such as not getting enough sleep, being late to school or work, spending too much money, having arguments with others, or neglecting important duties? Seventh, deceive or cover up. Do you lie to family, friends, or others about how much you game, or try to keep your family or friends from knowing how much you game? Eighth, escape adverse moods. Do you game to escape from or forget about personal problems, or to relieve uncomfortable feelings such as guilt, anxiety, helplessness, or depression? Ninth, risk or lose relationships or opportunities. Do you risk or lose significant relationships or job, educational, or career opportunities because of gaming? Alright, please note that as long as you think you completely agree to one of them, you have a tendency to become addicted. If you agree to more than 2, it is recommended to limit the time of playing video games. If you feel that you agree to all of them, it is recommended to consult a psychologist for help. Don't be ashamed of asking for help. It is okay to ask for help. So what if you find yourself prone to game addiction? In addition to seeking help from others, can you help yourself? To put it mildly, many times the solutions have been told to you already, but many people may think that these are just nonsense. Just like if you ask me how to improve your academic performance, I tell you to review more. You ask me how to lose weight quickly, I tell you to eat less and exercise more. You ask me how can we not be addicted to games? Every video game in China will tell you that when you open it, proper time gaming benefits your brain development. Being addicted to gaming is harmful to your physical and mental health. And every pack of cigarettes will have a skull image printed on it to tell you smoking is harmful to your health. And your response would be like, isn't that nonsense? To ask you is to ask for nothing. Of course, if you already feel that you have VGA, please seek proper treatment in time. I am not kidding. And my way of helping ourselves is to establish a healthy gaming attitude. I know my attitude towards gaming may not agree with and oppose some of my audience's opinions. I admit that mine is not necessarily the best, but I am very willing to share here to provide a thought for the confused ones. At least let you know that there is such a unique gaming attitude. You can review it slowly in the future. Before I start, let me warn you, you are free to either agree with me or not. It is your choice. But if you want to use your filthy mouth, please shut up and go back to study. You are not welcome here. Don't be annoying cabbage donkey, okay? Every time a fan sent me a private message to ask me to play the game with them or her together, they more or less would say, Joik, I'm not good at this game, but I will try to play it as well as possible. Can I play with you together? My reply to all of you guys' invitations would be, thank you, but if you are underage, please manage your playing time properly. At the same time, I don't need you to be super good at this game. As long as you are polite and occasionally chat with me, not an alien from Mars, we can indeed play together. I want you to understand that the game is just a toy, similar to a remote control car or basketball or whatever it is for you. Your purpose is not to become good at it or spend a huge amount of time and money playing the game, but to get happy feelings and interesting things from gaming while not being addicted to it. And please turn off the video immediately if you think only by winning the game you can get true happiness. Because different gaming attitudes determine your way of obtaining happiness. Also, welcome to check my videos in April and put more effort, competitiveness, and time into living rather than gaming. If we don't share the same attitude, you are welcome to continue to indulge in the game and continue to feel the anger caused by losing a game. In fact, sometimes you will find drugs like opium are very much like thieves. Following words may sound cruel, but the reality is more brutal. Drugs screen out the people who are addicted to them and cannot save themselves. These people will eventually be weeded out by society. They accomplish nothing. They may even break up their families and become criminals someday. Online games are, to some extent, a sieve. I mean no offense, and I have been trying to help my fans who have video game addiction, helping them to establish a positive and healthy gaming attitude, not to be played by the game, but to play the game. I also know that some of my fans are very confused. They're constantly looking for ways to keep themselves from being addicted, but they haven't found the way yet. I hope you don't give up, because maybe success lies ahead. So why do I say that video games also can be a sieve? Well, some people are excessively addicted to games. They may have the opportunity to excel in other fields of society originally, but because of being addicted to the games, they're automatically withdrawn from the competition so that other people receive fewer potential competitors. Some of them even gradually become more and more emotional, self-abased, and indulge in the virtual world and finally ruined themselves. I am not targeting anyone because there are hundreds of games on my Steam account. I played Call of Duty Black Ops 3 for 672 hours, Advanced Warfare for 187 hours, Rainbow Six for 147 hours, and Grand Theft Auto for 941 hours. Not to mention that I also have PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, GBA, NDS, lots of gaming consoles. I played Spider-Man, Batman, Sherlock Holmes, you name it, I played it. I remember when I was 11 years old, I secretly downloaded Grand Theft Auto to my father's laptop. I lied to him. Like, look, this is an urban simulation game. Wow, this car is so lifelike. See, you can also go to the gym for fitness classes. Amazing, you can even experience life as a taxi driver. I have been playing games since I was born and now and forever. But I am confident to tell you that I am not addicted to games. For me, video games are just toys. I do not agree to any of the above 9 questions. I still study very hard. I am definitely not the most talented one. I also once failed in high school and university. Maybe it was my gaming attitude that saved me from being addicted. So I want to share it with you. Of course, I do suggest you develop a healthy gaming attitude with your own characteristics. Okay, once again, if you read the above 9 questions and found that you are not addicted to gaming, please do not put yourself in that position. Also, if you are triggered by this video, please deal with your own problems first.